Motor City.
Welcome to this special edition of CBS News Detroit at noon. I'm Terrence Friday.
And I'm Meredith Bruckner. We're here live at Huntington Place, and it is electric. Our team of reporters are taking us live through the auto show exhibits, doing a deep dive into the world of EVs and taking us off-roading at Camp Jeep. Gina Vici and Alicia Bergio will check in with you shortly.
Yeah, there's a lot to see. The Detroit Auto Show is back in January. There was a brief hiatus in 2024 after being held in September and 2023 and 2022. But now this year, the show is back in its usual spot, boasting more than 30 brands with 4 fast-paced, jaw-dropping indoor tracks, and it's spanning 11 days.
All right, and we have a special interview now. Joining us now live is Sam Clement, the co-executive director of the Detroit Auto Show. Such an exciting time for the Motor City. Thanks so much for being here, Sam.
It's great to be here.
So tell us what's new this year.
Very experiential, as you mentioned. We have 4 ride and drive tracks. I think that's where people are most excited about. Not only can they see these incredible vehicles, they can actually get into them. They can see the technology of the vehicles. They can feel the power and the speed. To do that all under one roof is incredible.
Yeah, it's also incredible to have something like this in the Motor City, of course. What does it mean for Detroit to have something like this here?
We are the Motor City, right? And if we're not telling the story about what's the future of automotive, who else can? We can tell it the best. The automotive history starts here. And so we're really proud of that. And as you mentioned, we're back in January, and for a time of year which is typically slower for restaurants and businesses, to have that economic boost is also great.
And so we're seeing these amazing tracks with Jeep, and there's like really high hills, and it's wild. How can people sign up for this if they want to drive a car through these tracks?
Well, you can't drive one. Some insurance issues probably there, but you can definitely get in one and ride. It's simple. You just come in here, you buy a ticket to the show, and then you can experience all of these tracks. You just go in, they'll give you a wristband, and we have more than 40 vehicles on these tracks, so all kinds of brands to partake in.
Yeah, we talked about the future of the industry, right? We're seeing a lot of these futuristic electric vehicles here. How exciting is it to be able to showcase some of this new technology?
It's great. I mean, if you get into an EV, you experience the speed of it, the power of it, and it's still very quiet. But the great part about it is if you're not ready maybe for that EV transition yet, we still have our traditional ICE vehicles. We have the hybrids. So a mix of everything here. But you're seeing the future of the automotive industry on display here. It really is incredible.
And that's another really fun looking track behind us is the EV track. They're going pretty fast over there.
They are going fast. As you go down that straightaway, it's exhilarating.
Yeah, we talked about the fact that there are 11 days to be able to catch it. People still have time. Anything you want to say to our viewers just to encourage them to experience this for themselves?
It's incredible. Being back in January is great. We've got a little bit of something for everyone, and we're really excited. On Friday, we're tying in. We have a celebration for the Detroit Lions. We're having a pep rally, and for tickets are very expensive, right? And so we're trying to do something where we can bring the community together and be around other Lions fans. And so we have a free concert by Mike Posner. We'll have some former Lions players in the building. So it'll be a blast. So you have cars and Lions. Doesn't get much better in Detroit.
Metro Detroit native Mike Posner, I'm such a fan of him. So remind us the hours and what times folks can come down and enjoy this.
10 to 8 every day except for our last day, which is MLK Day. We'll be open from 10 to 7, but it's a great chance to bring down the family and see all these vehicles.
Yeah, there is so much to see here. Again, 11 days to be able to check this out, and we'll have information for you on our website, cbsdetroit.com, so you have all the details. And thank you so much for joining us.
I appreciate it. Thank you for being here.
All right, if you're planning to come downtown for the auto show, the city of Detroit suggests finding parking near a People Mover station, then riding the People Mover to Huntington Place for free. The People Mover hours are there on your screen now.
Also, if you are looking for those parking spots, Attorney General Dana Nessel wants you to watch out for parking scams. She says sometimes people are selling parking spaces in lots that they don't own or have the authority over. She recommends planning your parking ahead of time and ask for proof of purchase when you pay for parking. Also, never give your keys to any attendants unless you know that they are valet.
Some good tips there. So when talking about the Detroit Auto Show, new vehicle unveilings is always an exciting element, and this year is no different.
Yeah, that's right. They got a lot of great stuff for you with a top speed of 202 miles per hour. The new Ford Mustang GTD Spirit of America is racing to the top of Ford's new release list. The automaker says that this car has 815 horsepower. No word yet on the price tag, but there are reports that it could ring in at more than $300,000.
That's a pretty penny, but sounds fast and fun. All right, moments before that unveiling, our own Carol Kane sat down with Ford's executive chair, Bill Ford, for a one-on-one interview, digging into the questions you want to know.
Yeah, asking about the topics like the future of EVs, something we've been talking about, and the conversation that Ford had with President-elect Donald Trump.
I talked to him last week. He called me out of the blue, and we had a long chat. He's a huge Lions fan, which is great. He's very interested in the playoffs and all that. But we also obviously talked a lot about the auto industry. I'd really rather not go into specifics, but I'll say this. He understands the importance of our industry. He loves Ford. He knows that we're the most American company. That means a lot to him. And we'll have a seat at the table as he starts to work through all the different issues that came up during the campaign trail.
You talked about technology, things like AI and vehicles and what's on the vehicle. I know we could spend the whole time talking just about that, but for consumers' purposes, down here at the show, what kinds of things will be taking place over the next year or two, do you think?
Well, you've already seen a lot of, assisted driving technology come into the vehicles the last few years, and that will continue on. But unlike other areas where technology enters, we're dealing with people's lives here. So we have to be very, very sure that the technology works and it's completely safe. Having said that, you're seeing now a much more seamless transition between people's life out of the car and life in the car. When they bring their phone into the car, their whole life is downloaded. You'll see more of that. You'll see more assisted driving. It used to be years ago we talked about going all the way to autonomous driving overnight almost. That's not happening. It's happening incrementally now. And I think that's the smart way to do it.
And with EVs, same thing. I know when you and I last talked about this, the fact that transition within EVs, hybrids, do you see that evolution continuing on too?
I do. EVs, the uptake hasn't been quite as quick as I think a lot of people thought it would be. But the hybrid technologies are just getting better and better and better too. And there are lots of different flavors of hybrids that'll be hitting this market. So I think from a customer standpoint, they're going to have the most amazing choices from full internal combustion engine all the way to full EV.
At the auto show, what is it that you hope that visitors coming down here see as far as the Ford exhibit? What is it you want them to see?
I want them to be excited by the product. We have some experiences here that they'll be able to do that I think they'll get a real kick out of. And I really want them to walk away with the understanding that, whatever it is that they want, we have it. Whether it's a sports car, family vehicle, a work truck, and as we just said a minute ago, everything from full internal combustion to lots of flavors of hybrids to full EV, we have it.
All right, so that was just a portion of that conversation that Carol had with Bill Ford. You can find the full interview on our website, cbsdetroit.com.
And later in the hour, we'll hear from other top automaker execs answering similar questions consumers like you want to know. But each year, more than 100,000 people undergo mastectomies after breast cancer. And for some, the pressure of wearing a vehicle seatbelt across their chest can be agonizing. But Ford saw a problem they could fix.
We talked to more women who are receiving treatment for breast cancer to understand what was their day-to-day really like in their vehicles. Yeah. And it turns out women were driving, holding their seatbelt with one hand, trying to drive with one hand, or even worse, putting it behind their back or not using it at all. And so we wanted to create a way for women to feel comfortable with their seatbelt in its intended position.
The Ford Support Belt is a discrete contoured belt made with organic compound foam that wraps around a regular seatbelt. It's designed with feedback from real double mastectomy patients, and the support belt relieves pressure and reduces discomfort on the chest.
I chose to do a double mastectomy. The pain from the mastectomy itself was something you'll never forget. The support belt was very comfortable for me, and you need to be able to travel comfortably. I think it's really cool that Ford is actually going to supply it to folks who need it.
Such a clever idea for people who really need this. So Ford is offering the support belt free of charge to mastectomy patients. You can order your own support belt at ford.com/supportbelt.
Hi, I'm Gino Vici. We're talking all things EV at the Detroit Auto Show. We've got a test track behind me. We've even got consumer chargers and much more coming up.
Plus, later in the show, we're sitting down with the Chief Marketing Officer of Volkswagen Group, asking her the questions you want to know, learning more about their all-electric minibus.
If you're looking for an off-road adventure, Jeep has got you covered. I'm taking you for a spin on the course. That's straight ahead.
The Detroit Auto Show Industry Day Insiders continues after this.
This year, the auto show is all about the experience, and Jeep is allowing guests to get into the passenger seat for an off-road ride, and it's wild.
It really is quite the experience. That's exactly where we find our Alicia Bergio. She took one of Jeep's rides. Alicia, how's it looking so far?
Oh, Meredith and Terrence, if you are looking for an adrenaline rush, this will definitely fuel your excitement. I actually got to experience the thrill firsthand yesterday, and well, see for yourself.
All right, let's do it.
Nick here with Camp Jeep, giving us a really fun experience.
Oh yes, we're in the Wrangler Rubicon 4xe. We're just kind of testing what makes our Jeeps trail rated today. So this one's rocking us from side to side, testing how well the Jeep handles uneven surfaces.
And then we have the next obstacle, and there's 6, right?
Yes. Yeah, so next up's going to be the ground clearance portion. It's going to be a little bumpy and some stairs here.
Here we go.
So we have 10.8 inches of ground clearance. Crawled up here like it was nothing. It's going to be a little bumpy going down too if you want to hang on.
Feels like we're off-roading.
Yes, and it's inside the convention center.
Look at that.
So this one's the 4xe. Like I said, it's actually the plug-in hybrid. So we're doing the whole course in electric today.
Really?
Yeah, so total silence for us. And this part's my favorite. It's Jeep Mountain. We're going to go over 23 feet up in the air, 40 degrees up, 40 degrees down.
It feels like a roller coaster.
It does. You have the best view of the auto show from up here.
You really do.
And then going down, we'll pull up that forward-facing camera just to make sure no one's down there.
Let me hang on
here. A little brake check. Feels like we should be falling down right now.
This is so wild.
All right, next up's going to be the maneuverability portion, driving through our crevasse here.
I wish I could come up with a different reaction than, oh my goodness.
That's what everyone says.
So fun.
All right, and this one, make sure you hang on. Don't fall off the door there.
Will not tip, right?
30 degrees up, not tipping because of that low center of gravity.
All right.
You can even give it a little shake up here. It's not going anywhere.
I trust you, Nick.
And then the best part of the Wranglers is obviously the top comes off, doors come off as well. You get that full open air experience.
You gotta have that in a Jeep.
Oh yes.
What do you want people to take away when they are going through Camp Jeep?
Just how capable the vehicles actually are. Because most people can see them do it on TV, but to see it actually do it in person, it's quite different.
Absolutely. Well, this has been such a fun experience. Good time for everyone. Thank you so much.
Of course. Thanks for stopping by.
And believe it or not, this was actually my first time ever riding on one of these tracks at the auto show. And best believe I'm adding this to my to-do list each year from here on out. It was so much fun. Terrence, Meredith, back to you.
All right, looks like a wild ride. Thanks so much, Alicia. And, you know, you can ride in those vehicles, but you cannot drive them. There are certified drivers who will take you through.
That. And speaking of driving, just how close are we to fully adopting electric vehicles here in Michigan? That's top of mind for a lot of drivers and companies at this year's auto show.
That's right. CBS News Detroit's Elaine Rojas Castillo spoke with those behind a new survey that shares where we are on the road toward electric.
All eyes are on the future of electric vehicles at this year's Detroit Auto Show.
I believe there is a growing attraction towards EV among the people and the shift we are seeing in the young people.
That interest can be seen in full display among the stalls at Huntington Place, with hundreds of people checking out each new electric model. Tata Consultancy Services wanted to learn more, surveying more than 1,300 people across 18 countries to see just how close we are to going full EV.
The survey, one thing highlighted, 72% of US consumers, they want to have it. I believe once they are comfortable with the charging infrastructure, that is the biggest in our view.
Those with TCS say the future of electric vehicles in Michigan is closer than we think.
And Michigan, nobody has, or Detroit, nobody has to talk about automobiles. They are known as an automobile. I think they have a great advantage to take EV to a different level.
Singhal says his team hopes this research will give Detroit auto companies greater insight into what customers need to embrace electric vehicles, including affordability and safety.
As long as it starts delivering the certainty that once you are in it, you're as sure as your ICE vehicle that you will be able to reach from point A to point B. And I think that's where it will attract more people towards adopting EV as the preferred vehicle.
At the Detroit Auto Show, Elaine Rojas Castillo, CBS News Detroit.
All right, thanks, Elaine. Incredible to see. Also, just great to see how this is changing things. This is the future, and we're really getting ahead of it.
That's right. But it's important to also mention the union workers that are assembling these EVs. Let's bring in our Gino Vici now, live at the Powering Michigan test track with our presenting sponsor, IBEW, Local 58 and NECA. Hey, Gino.
I'm here at the Michigan EV Learning Center. I'm with the NECA Executive Director, Jason Head. Hey, thanks for joining us today, Jason. Tell us all about the Michigan EV Learning Center and what people can expect coming down here.
Well, Gino, it's a pleasure to be down here this week. The team at Powering Michigan, IBEW Local 58, and also NECA, the National Electrical Contractors Association. We're excited to once again sponsor the EV Test Track and also the EV Learning Center. So if you get an opportunity this week, come on down and test one of those EVs. They're really fast and they're fun, right? And also come and learn about the charging, different charging all over the place.
And I assume this is one of the charging stations you might have installed in your garage. Talk about that.
It is, Gino. About 80% of the charging is done at residences, and real typical to something like this, right? And it's really consumer-based. This is a level 2 charger, right? And it's simple to do. You just go ahead and you just plug it in, and usually about 4 to 6 hours, you get about a 300-mile range on a level 2, right? And quite honestly, from about a year ago to today, the infrastructure has really increased. There's about 3,500 public chargers now out there available.
How can consumers learn more about this charger?
Oh, something like this. You come on down to the EV Learning Center here, and we have plenty of help here to people to educate you on what you're going to need for your home, whether it be for your panel upgrades or for the charger itself.
Excellent. So if you need to know anything EV, come on down to the Michigan EV Learning Station here at the Detroit Auto Show. Back to you.
All right, thank you, Gino. Looks like lots of fun.
Yes, definitely does. Don't drive away just yet. Coming up after the break, Volkswagen is joining us live on set, digging into their newest models and looking ahead to the future of the auto industry.
Plus, our Alicia Bergio is taking us on a drive down memory lane, looking back on the early years of the Detroit Auto Show and how this event helped shape the industry we know today.
The Detroit Auto Show Industry Day Insiders continues after this. Welcome back to the Detroit Auto Show Industry Day Insiders.
All right, welcome back. There's so much to see here. Everyone loves a nice, shiny new car and being able to experience that, and there's plenty of that here.
There's plenty of that here, and like we've said, there's so much interactive activities to do here. You can get in so many cars and ride in them and really get a feel for how they drive. I love this. It's so fun to see all these tracks.
And so fitting that this is here in the Motor City, so you're able to experience this for yourself. So do check it out. We've got all the information you need. The Detroit Auto Show is known for unveiling fresh tech and new rides, but also for recognizing the top vehicles in the auto market.
That's right. The Volkswagen ID Buzz is driving its way to first place at the Detroit Auto Show. The modern reinterpretation of the VW minibus took top honors in the EV category, now named the 2025 North American Utility Vehicle of the Year. According to the company, it's the only electric people hauler on the market right now.
The retro-inspired styling features vibrant two-tone exteriors and also a brand that they say has Buzz Pro, 282 horsepower and a range of up to 234 miles.
Wow, and we are seeing that zip around. Joining us today to chat all things EV and innovative tech is the Volkswagen Group CMO, Rachel Zalusik. Thank you so much for joining us, Rachel.
Thank you so much for having me.
And congrats on these high marks for the ID Buzz. Tell us a bit about that vehicle, because it seems to be the one that everyone's really interested in.
Thank you. We really did kick off the year with a huge smile, not only with the ID Buzz, but with the award. So yes, it's energetic, it has people smiling, and it is drawing all kinds of attention. So it is a 7-seater people mover, and the thing that is most attractive to people, honestly, not only is the electric, is the amount of energy that it has to it, right? But it's the two-tone paint. It's the personality that the vehicle brings. It truly does have a smile on the front of the vehicle.
Yeah.
We talk about it bringing, energy, bringing optimism. When you sit in the vehicle, when you're on the road in the vehicle, not only do you feel that inside, but honestly, on the road, getting the energy from everybody else, getting the thumbs up, having people stop, take pictures on the road, it brings a smile to everybody's face. So there's that aspect of it, but there's also the practicality of it, right? It's an electric vehicle for the family. So it brings all those different aspects.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people who sometimes are a little afraid of change, kind of stuck in their ways, but the fact that this is bringing a little sense of the past, but also meeting that with the future, do you feel like that's helping it resonate with so many drivers?
Exactly. It really de-escalates, I think, the intimidation factor that electric vehicles can bring, because it's got that nostalgia, it's got that little bit of wink that Volkswagen is known for, that you have with the throwback, the reincarnation, as we call it, of Volkswagen love.
So what would you say to folks who aren't quite ready to jump the fence and go full-on EV? Maybe they say there's not enough infrastructure available. What's Volkswagen doing to improve that mindset?
We're still working on education. I think that's what really people need the most, is to understand that it doesn't necessarily need to be your only vehicle, right? That a second vehicle in a home, and many people don't actually need the range that they really feel that they do. So to get in the vehicle to try it, I think what people are most surprised by with electric vehicle is the instant torque that you get with it. And that's what you'll see in the EV track here. I know you're hearing them whip around here. So I would actually dare somebody to give it a try.
How are you guys also navigating through the political climate and some of the issues that come with that when it comes to EVs?
To be honest, I think we'll work with this administration just like we worked with the last administration. We're not going to anticipate what changes might come. I think we'll just need to roll with it, just like any other automaker is going to need to. Electric vehicles are eventually going to be the future, so we're just going to need to anticipate it and keep with where our investments are, which is an EV future.
And we're hearing from our viewers concerns over the large quantity of recalls just across the board in terms of automakers in general. What's Volkswagen doing to address quality control?
Well, particularly what we're doing here in the U.S. is localizing a lot of our engineering and quality. In fact, just up the road here, we have, I don't know if you're aware of this, in Auburn Hills, over 1,100 employees that we have here in the state of Michigan. Now, not all of our quality is here in Michigan. We also have a good number of people in Chattanooga, Tennessee, where we have our factory, that we're bringing teams here to make sure that we are not only manufacturing and building cars for Americans, but localizing our suppliers, localizing our engineers to make sure that we are building products and building quality for the consumers that we have here.
All right. Well, Rachel Zalusik with Volkswagen Group, thanks so much for this interview.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, we're glad to have you. Thank you for having this conversation with us, and thank you for joining us for our auto industry day here at the Detroit Auto Show.
It's been a lot of fun. We're learning a lot. We're seeing a lot of cars do a lot of interesting things here.
Yeah, and we're going to continue the coverage for you as we continue to bring you the sights and sounds of everything that is happening here at the Detroit Auto Show. Also, remember, you can always stay connected with us anytime on our website, cbsdetroit.com. We're streaming on our website there as well, and also on Pluto TV. There's a lot to see, but we're bringing it all to you as best we can.
That's right, and that's wrapping our first half of the show. Don't turn off those engines just yet. We'll see you soon.
Live from Huntington Place, this is a CBS News Detroit special. The Detroit Auto Show Industry Day Insiders. Sponsored by IBEW Local 58 and NECA, powering Michigan's future.
Welcome back to the Detroit Auto Show Industry Day Insiders. We're putting the pedal to the metal for this special edition of CBS News Detroit at noon on the stream. We're learning more about the industry, innovation, moving the Motor City, and everything that is happening here. Thank you for joining us on Terrence Friday.
And I'm Meredith Bruckner. It's an exciting day to be here at Huntington Place. So much energy, good energy here. We have our team with us on the auto floor. Our Alicia Bergio will be taking us on a drive through decades past, and our Gino Vici is revving up to bring us a look at unique, one-of-a-kind modified cars. Alicia, Gino, we'll check in with both of you soon. And for those looking to unwind and relax, all while sitting inside their vehicle, the new Lincoln Navigator has you covered with their new Rejuvenate feature.
What this is our spa on wheels, taking sanctuary to the next level, combining sight, sound, scent, and touch in order to relax you and then reinvigorate you, so you're ready to take on whatever comes next in your day. There are 3 themes that you can choose to activate. There's the calm waterfall meditation, elements, and aurora borealis, and they come in a 5-minute or a 10-minute experience. It starts by relaxing you. You'll have your seat go back, the temperature will warm slightly, massage turns on, digital scent will come out, and you'll have these beautiful visuals and noises. And then once you get halfway through the experience, it'll start to reinvigorate you. So the seat will come up, it'll get a little bit cooler, the visuals and the sounds will get a little bit more exciting so that you are ready to go pick up the kids from school.
All right, I'll take one in
That's
blue.
something I could get used to. I think a lot of parents in the drive line would appreciate that.
Exactly. Meanwhile, Dodge is showing off their new Charger Daytona. The company says that this is the world's first and only electric muscle car. It has 670 horsepower and goes 0 to 60 in just 3.3 seconds.
We spoke with the Dodge CEO, Matt Mickelier, about the new Charger and the future of the company.
The exciting thing about the car behind me is that it's not an EV first, it's a muscle car first. We are not bringing a battery electric vehicle to market. We're bringing an all-new muscle car that is absolutely all about performance. It just happens to have a battery electric powertrain that propels it. But it's not the only powertrain that's coming out in this car. We'll be launching 6-pack ICE engines later this year. This is a true multi-energy vehicle that can be everything to everybody. One of it is just by the looks. The other thing, 0 to 60 in 3.3 seconds, a quarter mile in 11.5 seconds, standard all-wheel drive, and the Fratsonic chambered exhaust. When you fire this thing up from a decibel level, it's just as loud as the outgoing Hellcat V8s that it replaces, with an all-new, authentic sound that you can control. If you want it louder, you can dial it up. If you want it a little quieter, you can turn it down. Or you know what, if you're going over to your mom's for Sunday dinner, you can even turn it off. You know, this industry is right in the middle of a huge change. It's going to change across the country at different times for different people. The administration change is going to affect that, but it's going to affect all of us. The wonderful thing about this vehicle behind me is that it is a true multi-energy platform. They're built across the river in Windsor, and we can adapt and flex our production to meet demand. So as battery technology adopts, we can ramp up. As ICE engines are still needed for certain parts of the country, we'll be able to ramp up with our 6-pack ICE engines. So we're just getting started, and we're not even close to being done when it comes to the powertrains that propel this vehicle. These are all new vehicles and all new platforms, and the software that drives them is incredibly complicated. A lot of the technology issues that need to be updated can be done over the air. So we're able to fix a lot of things that affect customers without inconveniencing them at all. And if there are other situations where updates are needed, it's usually just a short flash update at a dealership that they can even come out to where they live or their place of work to update for them. So we're trying to make it as easy as possible to keep their vehicles updated, similar to a lot of the tech that we all experience with our telephones today.
Another big talker, AI. How is Dodge incorporating AI in its vehicles?
We are just beginning to get into AI and everything that it can do for the consumers, but I think the great part about this vehicle is it's authentic to its core as a muscle car first. It's a driver's car. This is not overloaded with AI self-driving tech. There is level 2 autonomy that helps you on a long road trip, but at the end of the day, this is for the purists, this is for the enthusiasts, this is for someone that is looking to take performance to the next level and is open to what that means. It's exciting for a lot of people to see this vehicle in person for the first time they can get behind the wheel, but it's also giving them an insight into what is coming. This vehicle, as we bring out the 4-door later this year, and then in the second half of the year we bring out the ICE engines, it is predominantly the same interior packaging. The back seat legroom is better than the outgoing 4-door that it replaces, and is the exact same when we launched the 4-door. It's just ease of entry. On the other side of the brand, we have the Durango supercharged Hellcat V8 behind me, and we just announced that we're extending that for the 25 model year, and we're super excited to continue to be the world's quickest, most powerful muscle car, and the quickest, most powerful SUV.
Now, as you walk through the Detroit Auto Show, you'll notice not only cars, but tracks, one of which showcases the Detroit Grand Prix Auto Race.
Yeah, our own Carol Kane actually sat down with auto racing mogul Roger Penske to talk about the part that the Penske Corporation is playing this year, also with their auto racing experience and why this is important for the city of Detroit overall.
We've been a promoter of racing. We owned the Michigan Speedway. We built California. And to me, it was giving something back to the city. Having been involved with the Super Bowl and GM wanting to support this, I think it's a perfect venue to help the city. And on the other hand, for us, we want to come here and race. And that to me is important. But more important really is that what we can give back as a company to the city. We got hybrid vehicles today, hybrid technology in the cars. So we're trying to stay ahead of technology. On the other hand, deliver a product that everybody wants to see.
For centuries, the Detroit Auto Show has taken center stage, attracting a global audience while transforming technology through the years.
And let's send it now to our Alicia Bergio for a ride through the past. Hi, Alicia.
Hey, Meredith and Terrence, that's right. I had the chance to visit the historic Fort Wayne site here in Detroit. Turns out, in one of the buildings there on site, the Detroit Historical Society preserves vintage vehicles from former auto shows, along with other special artifacts dating back decades. Take a look.
If you think of the turn of the century, automobiles were a curiosity, something people didn't see all the time.
What started out as a private, small showcase of classic cars in Detroit
generates 360 horsepower.
Has taken off into an automotive sensation manufacturers, suppliers, and enthusiasts know as the Detroit Auto Show.
Arguable, but the first auto show was in the late 1800s, 1887. And it was put on by a local gentleman who wanted to have something that would rival the Paris Auto Fair. Then after that, it became more prevalent here in Detroit, and then it really took off in '65 when they moved it to Cobo Hall, which of course now is Huntington Place.
Detroit Historical Society curator Dave Marchione says the auto show was initially intended for manufacturers to launch new technology under one roof. He says it's helped fuel Detroit's economy through the years.
If you look at 15 or 20 years ago, there would be 25 or 30 new model releases at our auto show that were groundbreaking. People would come from all over the world to see these new vehicle releases, and that's when you had cars dropping from the ceiling and busting through glass. You know, it was really a spectacle.
A production the Detroit Historical Society takes part in preserving. At the historic Fort Wayne site in Detroit, 275,000 artifacts are carefully stored, including, take a look at this, vintage show cars from the 1960s, like the Ford Cobra.
This was used as a show car. It toured the show circuit.
The unique 1963 Ford Mustang II also parked here.
The horse that you see in the front is actually the first time the pony in the corral appears on the front of a Mustang, which is kind of a neat piece on this car.
Marchione says at one point, these vehicles and many more were the focus at previous auto shows in the Motor City, only gaining momentum to what it is today.
I think the auto show's place, both in the history of Detroit and the history of the automotive industry, I think is pretty well cemented.
In Detroit, Alicia Bergio, CBS News Detroit. Yeah, you got to appreciate those vintage vehicles, and it's so fun to see them back in the spotlight after all these years. Meredith, Terrence?
All right, thanks, Alicia. And you know what? Fun fact, if you're a member of the, the Detroit Historical Society, you can get a behind-the-scenes tour of these cars once a year at the facility and at the historic Fort Wayne site.
But that's not the only time that car enthusiasts can get an up-close look at this historic ride. Alicia, actually tell us a little bit more about Detroit through the decades, through the exhibits that they have at the show.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's nothing better than checking out these historic vehicles. And I'm going to bring in Greg Ping with Vanguard Motors.
Hi,
hello.
Alicia, how are you?
I'm so glad to be here. These are so awesome. Tell us a little bit about what you have to offer here.
Well, you know, we've been in business since 2004, and we go all over the whole United States collecting these cars and putting them for sale so you don't have to.
This is your first time at the Detroit Auto Show. How does it feel?
It's amazing. You know, I've always dreamed about being down here. We're down here at Autorama all the time, but I've always wanted to come to the auto show. I mean, the crowd here is amazing. I mean, just everything, all the excitement, it's incredible.
The nostalgia of these classic vintage vehicles, there's nothing like it. How do you want people to feel when they are checking out all of these vehicles?
Well, we have a little slogan, we're parking dreams in driveways. And basically it's memories. Like you remember Grandpa used to take you for a ride in the old 58 Impala or the 67 Mustang Fastback. Now that is one of my favorites right there.
Right there. Well, let's go take a look at it over here. So this is the Mustang.
Yes, isn't it amazing? It's a 4-speed car. It's got a big stroked out FE motor in it, completely restored top, bottom, inside, and out. And if you go to our website at Vanguard Motor Sales, we do about a 15-minute video on every car. Bottom side of the car, we show everything.
I mean, there is nothing like preserving these vintage vehicles. Where do they come from?
All over the country. I mean, I just drove to Toronto on Monday to look at a car. So we bring them in from basically all over the world.
I love that. And you guys are located here in Metro Detroit, right?
Right, we're in Plymouth, Michigan, right off of 5 Mile. You can come visit us whenever you'd like, Monday through Friday.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Greg. This was
Thanks
wonderful.
For coming down.
So fun. All right, you guys, we're over here at Vanguard Motors, but I'll send things back to you.
All right, Alicia, thanks so much for that.
Hey, we get more to come. We are not letting up on the gas just yet. Coming up after this break, we're going to give you an up-close look at some of the one-of-a-kind modified rides that you can find this year at the Detroit Auto Show. Stay with us.
The Detroit Auto Show Industry Day Insiders continues after this. Welcome back to the Detroit Auto Show Industry Day Insiders.
All right, let's keep the fun rolling. Driving its way to the 2025 North American Car of the Year finalist spot is the all-new hybrid 2025 Toyota Camry. The car combines an athletic exterior style with updated infotainment and also software and a number of key safety improvements.
And our Lauren Winfrey spoke with the Midwest Public Relations Manager for Toyota, asking the question so many of you have been wanting to know: is our nation ready to drive full throttle towards the electric vehicle revolution?
We know the EV revolution is coming, it's just not today. So at Toyota, actually almost every vehicle in our lineup is hybridized. So that means that we have a hybrid variant available in everything but maybe just our sports cars. In fact, last year in 2024, almost half of our vehicles sold in the United States were hybrids. So now the technology is tried and true, and American consumers, if they feel comfortable with a hybrid, naturally they will gravitate towards an EV maybe a couple years down the road. But we've got BEVs as well, but hybrids right now is our main strategy.
So would you say hybrids, that is the solution for right now where we are as a society?
Absolutely, because you both have an electric engine and a gas engine, so there isn't any range anxiety, but you also get the benefits of having be more eco-friendly, getting more mileage out of your fill up. And again, people realize that again, it's not as dictated on the elements as maybe say a BEV does, especially in those cold, harsh Michigan winters.
With the upcoming change at the helm when it comes to the presidency, how will that change plans for electric vehicles?
It really won't, because most product development starts 4 years in advance. So we've already got vehicles in the pipeline. So again, while we have a full complement of hybrids, we have another half a dozen battery electric vehicles coming by the end of the decade. So that doesn't change our strategy one iota.
It seems like every other day in the news we're talking about a recall. What is Toyota's plan to address that and ensure that cars remain quality even with all of the new tech that's coming through?
Sure. You know, recalls have been part of this industry since the very beginning, and we've had them as well. But the thing you have to remember is that recalls fix vehicles. And so when those vehicles go in to be maintained or serviced, they're going to come out in the condition that the consumers want. So again, recalls aren't necessarily a boogeyman term. It's actually something that will lead to a better product when the vehicle returns to the consumer. We started incorporating AI probably 6 or 7 years ago at a very rudimentary level. But where consumers see it today is if they drive a Toyota product and they get past the service mark for like an oil change, actually a message will come up on their screen saying, hey, you might want to think about going to your service provider and get a new oil change and maybe rotating your tires. So again, it's all dictated on the mechanism of the vehicle in terms of working with that service department and again, trying to schedule something in advance. So the vehicle's thinking for you already in terms of when that next service should happen. It's a very rudimentary form of it, but again, that's where consumers see it the most, is those messages that pop saying, hey, it's time to go get that new oil change.
Okay, because I don't know that people always think of it as like, this is AI.
It's AI. Okay. It's intuitive, so it's AI. I'm excited actually about the Land Cruiser that's behind us. This is the longest nameplate at Toyota. It's been around for 40 plus years. It actually returns to the American market after a couple of years. This is truly a global vehicle. So it's a vehicle that you could drive in the sands of Sahara, the jungles of the Amazon, because it's a tried and true rugged vehicle. But we've brought it back here with American sensibilities and American comfort. But again, this actually is pure hybrid. So not only is it a rugged vehicle, looks great, but it also gets you about 25 miles per gallon for such a large vehicle. So there is an eco-friendliness to this vehicle.
And there's a special surprise downstairs this year at the Detroit Auto Show, a huge custom display provided by Modded Detroit. And that's not all, there's also some on display in the gallery.
And that's where we find our Gino VG. Gino, you say this is the first time in more than 10 years that custom cars are back at the show?
Yeah, Meredith, look, the story of Modded Detroit is a very cool story. I spoke to the organization's founder, Mitch McSweeney, who says when he used to come to the Detroit Auto Show with his father many years ago, he used to run right to the basement and check out the custom cars. Now he is the one, along with his team, bringing these cool rides to the show.
Being in the auto show, getting to be on this big of a stage is awesome for us.
Modded Detroit president Mitch McSweeney used to come down to the Detroit Auto Show, and his favorite part of the show was always the custom rides here on the lower level. And to think his team is bringing this back for the first time in about a decade is pretty awesome.
You know, back in the day, I used to come to the show pretty much every year with my dad when I was a kid. They always had a modified vehicle section down here. They got rid of it about 10 years ago and haven't had it. This is the first year they're bringing it back. I pitched the idea to them. We ended up working it out, and it's a really crazy experience that I'm the one that gets to bring it back with the help of my team.
Modded Detroit is a team of about a dozen or so, but the community is gaining a huge following fast on social media and at meetups throughout the year. At this year's Detroit Auto Show, Modded Detroit has one of the largest displays and lots of cool cars you won't see upstairs.
If you want to see stuff that you will not see every day, when you walk in here, you'll see an intense variety. It's pretty much everything from supercars to lowriders to, you know, tuners, motorcycles, American, Japanese, European, everything that you could think of, you'll find down here.
Yeah, certainly everything you can think of in terms of exotic and custom cars. We're up in the gallery right now, but the big Modded Detroit display is in the basement. More than 150 cars on display. Be sure to check those out. A Detroit-born organic group with lots of cool cars to see. Back to you.
Oh, yeah, incredibly cool. Thank you for bringing us there, Gino. All right, we'll be right back after this quick break. Stay with us. We've got more to come.
The Detroit Auto Show Industry Day Insiders continues after this. Welcome back to the Detroit Auto Show Industry Day Insiders.
Yeah, welcome back to the show. Everything continues. We've got a lot going on.
That's right. We're seeing a lot of sleek cars and new tech. Cadillac adding more vehicles to their EV lineup. Just look at this all-electric Vistic. A luxury 3-row SUV promises 0 to 60 in just 3.7 seconds with Velocity Max.
And while some customers may shy away from electric vehicles, the global marketing director of Cadillac tells us that their product and connectivity efforts are changing drivers' minds as they drive towards the future.
I think it starts with the product itself. And this is a really exciting day for us because this is one of the first times that we're going to showcase the 5 EVs that we're launching in the next 6 months. And it starts with the product, where if you come out and you have fantastic product, which Cadillac has, that's the first thing to get folks to convert from EV to ICE. As far as infrastructure goes, our plan is to simply put as many chargers and ability for people to charge. We know that there's range anxiety, there's charge anxiety, but connecting that through all the networks out there, the partnership with connecting to the Tesla Supercharger network, and just making charging as accessible as we can for our customers is the way we're going to win, along with having the fantastic product that Cadillac offers.
As we know, there's a changing of the helm when it comes to the presidency. How will that impact plans for electric vehicles?
Well, our plans are going to stay the same. We have stated publicly, and we continue to be on this journey to an all-EV future. And what you're seeing here for Cadillac in the next 6 months, especially 2025, is riding all the momentum that we've been coming off of with our ICE portfolio, fueled by Lyriq and the EV front, really our first EV to come to market. And then these 5 new EVs that we're going to bring is really going to accelerate our future into that all-electric lineup. And we are staying to that, and that is the Cadillac plan. And regardless of what's going on with the administration, we're looking at our full commitment to our EV product portfolio still.
And our viewers, they've been raising some concerns over the large quantity of recalls. It seems every day we're talking about vehicles that are being recalled. What is your company doing to ensure quality control?
Well, so from a quality control perspective, vast layers of inspections and just making sure that when we put a vehicle out there, that we stand behind that vehicle, which we always do. Our software team, our engineering team has never been more focused on this, catching these issues quicker. We have various programs within the company right now that are identifying these issues, and items that used to take days, we're getting them done in hours, and it's just been a continued focus led by those quality teams. And again, we are fully confident that when we put a vehicle out there into the marketplace, that it's going to be everything that that consumer wants and expects.
How does AI work with the future of Cadillac?
Yeah, so from a marketing perspective, we're looking at a lot of different things in which AI can help us. We know that's a trending technology that we have to be on the forefront on. And look, we're in the early stage of this right now, but you will absolutely see AI start to make its way into how we kind of come to market with consumers. So much more to come on that, but it is definitely something that we are looking at right now. Super exciting time for us at Cadillac. And we're launching 5 new EVs in the next 6 months. And it really starts with Optic and Escalade IQ, which are on sale right now. We just recently, those started hitting dealer lots. And then closely followed is going to be the Vistic, a 3rd-row entry into EV. Real clean space there that we're super excited about in terms of the competitive set. And then you quickly follow it up with performance of the Lyriq V. Much more to come in detail on that in the next couple of weeks, but that's exciting. And then really spearheading all this is the Celestiq, which is our ultra luxury hand-built Cadillac that'll be available a little bit later this year. So 5 new Cadillacs in 6 months. Really exciting day to have these vehicles here and to get these out into the marketplace.
All right, there is so much to see here. We hope that you enjoyed taking this journey with us here for Industry Day Insiders.
Have a great day.
This has been a CBS News Detroit special. The Detroit Auto Show Industry Day Insiders. Sponsored by IBEW Local 58 and NECA, powering Michigan's future.